on to the unboxing. One quick start guide, bag of cables, GPS antenna, iDrive controller if you do not already have iDrive, and then the unit itself. Very well packaged. Okay, the main unit. You've got your connections for the various cables on the back, your GPS antenna and the LDVS port if you already have iDrive. On the top, your memory card, and that is basically the main unit. The iDrive controller. This is an optional extra and basically replicates what an iDrive controller looks like normally. GPS antenna, standard connection, sticky pad on the back. Your audio out cable to connect into the AUX port that you already have in the car. The audio in, DVR in and TV in ports as well. 2 USBs and the audio in for the microphone. And then the main cable, as well as the iDrive cable as well. There we have it, everything that you need. Let's go and install it. Okay, we're now inside the Z4, so it's time to start removing the panels. First of all, open the center console, get your appropriate trim removal tool and start with the gear stick. Pop it up and pull it up. Okay, now to remove the actual center console main section, again using the trim tool, prise it up until you get the first pop, which should be somewhere towards the back here, just like that. You can then use your thumb underneath and gently prise it out. Some would say you need to remove a gear stick. No, you don't. You prise it up gently and just feed the gator back through, and then it's free. You now need to just disconnect the plugs on the inside. The handbrake, you've got 2 levers, one either side. Just press them in and pull the plug out. So for the accessory socket, squeeze the 2 white tags and remove. And for the DTC buttons, just prise it out with a small trim tool. You will get that bonging from the handbrake, it's to tell you there is a fault in the system. It's purely that it's detected that there is no connected handbrake. And the final one is the front set row of buttons. Now unfortunately I've tagged something else into the accessory socket, so mine will not come out like that. Yours would normally come out. I'm just going to place that gently on my passenger seat and leave it there for now. Okay, next is a trim panel below the radio, or if you already have a high drive, then it will be the full trim panel around the radio section. Again, different trim tool, pop it in that side there, and with a bit of luck it'll pop out. There are 4 metal studs on the inside, two approximately there, 2 approximately down the bottom there. Feed your trim tool round until you pop all 4 out. It's not an easy job. In fact, it's quite complicated to get the bottom ones out. And a bit of pull, and there it is, out. As you can see, the 4 metal studs. Put that to one side safely, and that is your centre console free. Okay, we now move on to the passenger side glove box area. Okay, open the glove box. Want a small stubby with this Torx bit in the end of it. First screws in the end here. If I can find the head. It's not easy to locate. There we go. That's it there. Now, the pry tool, pry that end panel. Just put it down to one section, there are wires on the inside, so be careful. And your last screw for this bit is in the side. Take that one out. And that's that bit free. Back to the driver's side. Okay, back in the cabin. I've now put my Torx bit on a longer shaft so I can get to the bottom screws underneath the radio here. Okay, you screw and undo. This one seems to be stuck. There we go, that's got it. And put them to one side. On this side as well. And that's it. This one's in. For some reason seems to be stuck in the bottom of my radio hole, but there you go. Doesn't really matter too much as long as it doesn't come out. Okay. Get your radio loose and just gently ease it out. The only thing catching, just put your hand around the back, be very careful, make sure everything's free and pull it out gently. Okay. Sure what that's trapped on. It's trapped on something. There we go, that's got it. Okay. So, you've got various connections on the back. You've got your main radio one, which is the lever is at the very top there. Gently press it, push it all the way down, it just curves on itself, and your main plug's out. And you pull your radio forward to disconnect the USB, if you have one on yours, and the radio plug as well. Right, I'll explain that as best as I can. The radio plug, it turns. The black bit comes off with the plug, leaving the black shaft in the radio. There's a white piece there. If you press down on it like that, it will release the plug. I've seen a lot of stereos where all that is missing, it's just the silver bit left. That's because they don't know how to do it, they've ripped the plug off, it's damaged it. Same with the USB, you've got the usual release connector just like that, and that will unplug the USB connector. Put your radio to one side, nice and safe. Okay, we now have some more screws to remove, if I can remember where they are. One there and one there. So one approximately underneath your passenger side temperature controller, the other one underneath your driver's side temperature controller. Right underneath it where my finger is now. Again, these should be Torx ones, so I will change back to my short stubby one. I have noticed that my passenger one doesn't seem to have a screw in it, so with a bit of luck, this is all we need to do. Okay, that's remove your last screw there. Now it's just clipped in, so again, get your trim removal tool. We've got various ones at the top here. Prise it between the trim and the vent and just prise it out nice and gently. All being well, that should come out. Just prise it off the vent and ease it down gently. You've got various connectors down here. Okay, as you can see, we have 1, 2 connectors and the stop start button ribbon connector. Okay, get a small prodder, press it in there, normally about two-handed, and there we go, it pops it, pull it down and it disconnects the plug. Then with your white one, again, your prodder, press down and release the grey catch. Turn it round, oops, that's it, and out it comes. Okay, now you've got your ribbon connector to move. Nothing fancy here. I'm trying to move my camera around a little bit. There we go. I've already released this slightly anyway. Press on your two sides, that on there, that on that side. Press together and pull it out. Support your center console trim panel if you don't want it dropping on the floor. And if you've got two hands like I haven't, because I'm using the camera, that's it. And put your trim panel away to one side, nice and safely. Okay, now we've got screw there on the vent and the screw just there on the vent as well to remove. I'll switch back to the other cameras now. Your screwdriver and remove the screws. Again, put them safely. All these screws are identical screws anyway, so it doesn't really matter if, oh, that was tight, doesn't really matter if you get them mixed up a bit. A bit of luck. Okay, ease your vent out and be careful, it does have two connections on the back, but you can just let it dangle for now. It's not heavy, it's not going to pull on the wires, they're protected anyway, it's fine. Okay, we've now got two screws, one there. These also want to be removed. Again, exactly the same screws as all the others. Alright, now we need to remove the top trim. Again, use your removal tool, prise it in. Up 4 poppers, 1 in each corner. And 1 at the back. Okay, once you've prised it up, be careful. There is a wire connector for your sensor. Just pull it down. It's a standard connector for BMW, and put your trim panel safely out of the way. Okay. Okay, it's now revealed the final 2 screws to remove. One there, and one just there. Okay, so that'll be your final 2 screws to remove the cubby hole, or if you have iDrive, then it'll be the final 2 screws to remove the iDrive screen. All fittings exactly the same whether you've got iDrive or whether you haven't got iDrive, makes no difference, they all fit exactly. So, here we go, let's remove these last 2. Okay, here we go, let's remove these last 2. And now the cubby hole is removable. Now, you don't normally have cables in it. I have cables in it because I've modified mine. Just ignore this part of the L2. So while I quickly remove these out of it, quickly being the operative word. And that's it. The cubby hole or the iDrive is now removed. Like I say, ignore these 2 cables. You won't normally have these. I happen to have these because it is an old modification I did some time ago. Okay, one final thing to remove. The way the unit gets the sound through to the original stereo system is via the AUX cable. Now, I already have one here, This is an old, like I say, this is the same as the one from the top cubby hole. This is my old modification. The AUX socket is just there, so somehow you need to get the cable from the front to here. Now I've done this before, as you can see. I've already got this in here. I am going to change it though, so we'll go through the whole process. So first of all, take out your rubber mat. Again, get your screwdriver, take out the 4 screws. You don't need to remove them, you can just unscrew them and leave them in the tray. If you have a phone port on here or anything like that, or the cup holders, it will look different, but the basic way of setting it up is exactly the same. Now what we need to do, take that out of the way as well. So you need to get your trim removal tool again, where I've just put mine. There we go. And just pop it in and remove the tray. Basically as easy as that. 4 screws, pops up. Okay, as you can see there, previously I did drill a few holes in there. It's a really bad job, I agree, no problem, understand that. So, but I find that's the neatest way to do it, because then you can go straight up there, drill a hole straight in the bottom of there, and put a nice cut in the rubber, a little hole in there, and then when it's all fitted in, it's all nice and neat. You're not holding up the edges or anything like that. So we'll demonstrate that exactly when I put the new one back in. So that's your final bit of dismantling. And that is it. We've now removed everything from the car. We're ready to start installing. Okay. Right, now for installation side. One other thing I've removed the screws for this panel on the top. You may have a speaker in there if you've got the sound, the better sound system. This is so I can locate the GPS. I don't want it on the dash. You can have it on the dash, feed it over to the far side corner over there, put it on the dash, it'll be fine. But I'm going to hide mine under my speaker grill because I don't have speakers. So I've removed the panel, that's now surplus. I just removed one of my other cables out of the way at the top here as well. Still got my old AUX cable, which I'll remove in a minute. Okay, we're nearly ready for installing. Here's my GPS. Like I say, I'm going to stick it to the underside of this grill. I'm going to put it about there. Hopefully that should be enough plastic there for it to stick to. It'll be under the grill and it will show up nicely. Okay, so I'm going to wire a bit, get a bit of wire for it. I'm going to keep this wrap around it though, once I've taken enough out, just so that I can bunch it back together a little bit. I think that's more than enough. It's only there anyway, that's fine. Just wrap that one back up. That'll go very nicely just in there. We'll leave it up the top here for a second because I don't want it dropping through the hole. And there's your first cable in place. Okay. Next one we're going to do is the USB port one. This is the 2 USBs and the microphone in if you decide to go for the external microphone. For now I'm going to stick to the internal one. I may fit an external one later. Okay. For now I'm going to shove these down here. Oops. I'll do it anyway. Be cautious, of course. You've still got your 2 air vents that have got to go in there and there. So they need to be able to see what's going on. Move that out of the way a second. Back it up. This is a very tight fit for some reason. Not quite sure why. But it really doesn't like going in. Okay, so here's number 1. Here's number 2 then. And here's number 2. Pull them down a little bit. Feed them through a tad. Okay. This is the audio cable. It wants to go all the way through and through into your center console. Quite important one. This is your iDrive controller. It wants to be going to the white, goes to where the iDrive controller goes, black goes to the loom. So you need to feed this in nice and gently. Find a good spot and feed it through. Now, most of my wires go this way anyway, so I'm going to feed it the same way. Just pull up your rubber cover and feed it along. We have a hole down here somewhere which I hope to be able to get through. It's not easy though because it's very, very tight. And everything, of course, is very much in the way. Okay, so your iDrive controller cable is this one. White plug, like I say, at the controller end, black plug at the loom end. Now I've fed it through. I've taken it up the left hand side on this one, simply because the right hand side is a little bit more chocker with the cables going to the module that's right underneath. I've then taken it round to the left hand side again, fed it through, and it's now in the front, ready for plugging into the loom. Okay, next is the loom. That one doesn't matter at the moment, that's for the head unit. Okay, so here's your loom wire. Now this long piece, that's your main piece for your interconnecting into your normal radio car loom, and this is the piece that goes to the new head unit. So this now needs feeding up the back here in a suitable position, probably up the centre. Would be the best location. This big box doesn't help. There we go, that's that bit. And that's that bit. And it is now up at the top. Okay, so here's your audio cable. Again, needs feeding the same path up through the back here, because it is going to be going to your center console cubby hole for your AUX input. It is not easy to get in. A little bit of lifting to get it through there. That's got it in. And again, this is going up the left hand side, simply because it's a lot easier. Hand through the back, be very, very careful what you're touching. There is some sharp items back here. Feel for it. And then bring it forward and through. Feed it in. There we go. Okay, now it comes to the loom plug. Now, your stereo has the optical connection in it, the green and serrated cable here, and you need to take it out of your original loom plug and plug it into the new connection port on the new plug. That is so you can keep connectivity for the system. If you don't have it on the back of your radio, don't worry about it, leave it where it is. Okay, now plug this plug into the new one, close up your connector, and we are almost ready to go. But we need to feed these wires back in here somewhere. So we're all clear for when we plug the radio back in. Okay, now grab your head unit and start plugging wires in. Your USB ones have a small plug. They go in the small hole just there. Okay, your main plug goes in the main socket there. And then the additional one for your left and right audio input and TV and DVR inputs will go in that socket just there. Make sure they're all in properly. And then the other one to connect, for me anyway, is the GPS. Now, if you have iDrive already, then you'll have the LVDS cable, which will go in the purple socket at the end there, just the same as it did on your old unit. Nice and tight. Go back through a bit, and we are almost there. Now we're going to place that up there, plug your wire, push your wires back through the hole, and we're going to give it a test before we do anything else. Right, to test it, we need the main header unit. So grab your head unit and plug your wires in here as well. Okay, we now got the main head unit that needs plugging in as well. So you need your original cables. Make sure you haven't pulled them out too much out the back. Radio, antenna rather, USB, and then your brand new main cable. Okay, just before you plug in your main plug, don't forget you need your iDrive connector going in there as well. That just plugs in nice and carefully like that. That's that done. And for the test purposes, we're going to get our iDrive controller and we're just going to plug it in to here for now. I'll show you how to install it in a moment. Okay, onto the main loom plug, open the closing ring, plug it in and close it up, and we get a load of alarms going off again. Okay, just needs it up a little bit so we can test it, and let's have a look. Okay, now for a test. Put the key in, head units come on, turn your main unit on, you're on auxiliary, or you can obviously choose whatever you want to, but you want to choose auxiliary, and then you've got, with a bit of luck, and we've got control of the main unit. And there we go. Isn't that nice? It's touch screen. You can go back to main one. And now we need to do all the setups, etc., which I will do in a few moments. Okay, so that's a quick test. You know everything's connected and all in, so now we need to put everything back together and tidy up this spaghetti of cable. Okay, let's disconnect the iDrive controller. We now need to feed all the cables back in. That's going to be the most difficult bit of the entire job. Okay, we've now got this screen on the top. All wires and cables are out of the way, we just need to screw it back together. Using the original screws, and we shouldn't have a problem here at all. Make sure all your cables are out of the way of the vents. That is very, very important. Feed them in various places if you need to, but make sure they're out of the way. Okay, to reconnect the air conditioning controller and stop start button, exactly the same as taking it out, just plug it back in. Just make sure when you plug it in, push it in gently and then move the clip up, it slides itself in. And that's it. And you get another bing. Line everything up and gently push it back in to its original slotted position. Okay, so trim panel back on, your screws under there, you just got to do your 2 screws under here, one again under the passenger temperature control, one under the driver's temperature control, as I only have 1 spare screw, and only 1 came out, and then I put 1 back in. How's that on it? Okay, now slide your radio back in, being cautious of your various cables that are all at the back here and all in the way. So you have to get your hand back there, be careful. There are some sharp points back there. Make sure everything's out of the way and feed it in gently. Okay, so once you've fed all the wires round at the back, it's time to put the stereo back in. Make sure we get it in the right spot. Here with your longer driver. And screw your 2 bottom screws in. Just like that. Perfect. Okay. You've still not fed the audio wire through to the back yet, so that now needs feeding through along this cavity through here, through into the back, and to where I already have my old one here as well. So this is a bit of trial and error, and basically try to straighten your wire out as best as you can, or as least amount of formed kinks in it as you can get, so it doesn't snag on anything, and then basically just feed it through as best as possible. There are things in the way, so it is not an easy job to do at all, especially as I'm using the 90-degree angle one as well. The straight one would have been a lot easier. And there we go, it's through. All nicely fed to the back. Okay, now feed a wire through the hole that's already been made and place the panel back where it came from. Well, so we don't leave something in the way. Clip it in and screw it in. Get the rubber panel. Feed a bit wide out, it's a bit high like this. There we go. A nice neat install. Okay, moving on to the centre console. Just tidy up your wire feed, make it nice and neat. Okay, you now need to fit your iDrive controller into the centre console panel. Straightforward, very, very simple. Okay, nice and simple. The smaller Torx bit now. Undo your 4 screws. Placing them somewhere safe, not on the armrest there, not a good place for them. and pop in your new controller. Okay, once your iDrive controller is connected, reconnect all your cables accordingly. Your handbrake. Don't forget, of course, to plug in your iDrive controller. I've lost the plug. Ah, there it is. Okay. Feed the gear gator through the hole, and then just locate your panel back in place. And pop down. Making sure you don't trap any wires. And pop down your gear gator lever. And apart from the GPS, which I'll do in a moment, that's everything back in place. Onto the demonstration. The key in ignition. And a nice quick boot up time, and everything's ready to work straight away. Using the controller, we can go through the various menus. I'm sure you've all seen this before on other video demonstrations. I'll do a few quick ones specifically. Music one. Press the controller and off we go. You can scroll down various controls within the screen panel as well. Let's just pause the music a moment. You can choose your source. Various ones over here. You've got built-in memory, the SD card, memory stick, and what's currently playing. Back in there again, and then you can just scroll through your various ones that you want to play. So as easy as that. You've got a back button on the screen at the top here, which will take you back to your main menu, or if you're already in that section anyway, you've got the back button on the controller. Press that and you're back to your main menu. Your music will continue playing at this point if you have not paused it. You've got your Bluetooth setting for your mobile phone. Navigation, whichever is your chosen app. You can choose in the settings which app you want to use. I'll show you that in just a moment. You go into the chosen one, I've got Cigic running on this one. It's a standalone app, which means that all your maps are loaded onto the device, as opposed to something like Google Maps, which is a live app. So you need a data connection for that. You can actually download various apps for Google Maps onto the device, but I've chosen to go with Cigic on this one. File Manager runs you through your various on-device storage and storage, either your memory card or your memory stick, depends what you've got plugged in. You can run through your various applications on there. Car info. If you've got an iDrive already, this will take you back to your normal iDrive screen. If you don't have an original iDrive setup, then it will simply take you back to either a blank screen, or you can set it up properly so it just comes up with a clock on it. You can have a clock up there at any time, whether you're running navigation or whether you're running music at the time. You can have the clock up if that's what you wish. Just touch the screen and you're back to your normal one. Browser, that's rather self-explanatory. It's an internet browser. You do need a internet connection with your phone, or if you're in an area where you've got Wi-Fi connection, then you can use that there. On the next screen, video. This is your video player. If you've got videos on your memory sticks or whatever, just go into this one, and we seem to have the obligatory Fast and Furious video showing, which seems to be shown on every single one. You can have it on full screen, or you can have it in the smaller window. And again, back out of there if you want to, and you're on there. Oop. DVR, if you've got a dash cam that has the ability to have the video output, you can plug it in. You can either use it via USB or via the phono style connections. That's your main settings screen. Go to that in just a moment. Dashboard, bit of car information, tells you when you've got your seatbelts on, whether the handbrake's on or off, amount of litres left in your fuel tank, current temperature outside. As you can see, it's a extremely warm 8.5 degrees Celsius, or not rather. You've got your speedo, which is in kilometers per hour, and you've got your rev counter as well. You've also got the doors open. There we go. That's my driver's door, because I'm right-hand drive here. That can be set up so that your left-hand drive or right-hand drive, again, I'll show you that in just a moment in the settings screen. It does come set up left-hand drive, so anybody in Australia, UK, Japan, other countries like that run on the right, sorry, steering wheel on the right, then you need to swap it over in the settings. Again, I'll show you that in just a moment. Phone link, if you want to do, it's also known as mirror link. You can do that via a cable. You do have to control your phone from the phone. There's no touch screen, no control over your phone through the application. And then you're into your main apps. This is a standard Android style screen. All your various apps, your Bluetooth setup, dashboard, music, etc, etc. So I don't have to go through all this. And they're all there, and I've even loaded YouTube. There's a few extra ones on here that I loaded as well. So we'll go back to you can do this obviously by scrolling your wheel, or of course you can just go straight to your touch screen. Right, here we go into navigation. So you can either, again, you can still touch screen and go to it that way, or you can use the controller to go through your screen. So to set up your navigation app, your chosen app for navigation, go into your navigation app and choose your relevant screen. This is a touchscreen section, so if I wanted to change it to Google Maps, I'll double click that, and then you got the, do you want to change settings, yes or no? If you choose yes, the tick, then it will change now to display Google Maps all the time. I'm not, because I prefer Cigic, so I'm sitting with that. Language settings, English United States and Chinese. Quite happy to leave it as is. Time zone. Do not recommend GPS time. Original time is good enough. That's fine. That works for everything you need it to do. So original time is the best setting on that one. Audio display. This is a touchscreen screen. You can set up your various volume levels, and you go into a little bit more there as well. You can set up your bass, mid and treble, and use various, some already set in ones in there as well. You can choose whichever you prefer. I've got my own personal settings on that one. Camera and video settings. If you've got a rear camera, then this is where you want to go. I'm about to fit a rear camera to this one, so it will need aftermarket. If you've got a system already set up that is factory set with the original camera, then you'll choose the original camera one there as well. And then you've got your brightness, etc. If you've got parking sensors, then you've got your parking sensor settings there as well. Some extra settings here, which takes you back to your main settings menu, which again is a touchscreen one, and you set up your various settings in that screen as well. And then system info. This is the information about what the Android is set up like. But very important screen, this one. You got your factory settings screen. Press your factory settings. Insert your number 1314. OK, and you're into your setup screen for factory settings. These are the settings I've got on mine currently. So you've got the original head unit as the Alpine. Some are Harmans. Certainly the iDrive ones are Harmans, so you'd have that set up for that. There's various other little settings down here. I've got it on the original car amplifier. I don't currently have a DVR, so you can, if you've got your DVR input from your dash cam, you can set it up of how it comes in, USB or via the phono cables. In actual fact, mine really should be off because it's not on. Bluetooth settings on there, and various other. Right, now if you do not have iDrive and you don't want a screen that says no signal all the time, set this setting just here. BMW original car video display, old BMW X1. That gives you the clock display on when other stuff isn't showing, i.e. back to original car. iDrive Type A, DVD software, it doesn't make any difference to me because it's off anyway. And there are various other screens here. Okay, next screen, advanced settings. This is where you can choose your display screen, your background, your tiles, etc. So you can have the old style NBT setup, you can have the new multi-tile, which is the one I've got, 6 tiles, or you can get the brand new version, which is the 3 large tiles, which is the one you'll see in most of the photographs of this anyway. I've gone for the new Evo because I just prefer it, it looks better for me. And the rest of these ones don't really make a difference, it's for other setups. Okay, so boot logo. You can have whatever boot logo you want. You can have just the BMW screen, you can have the BMW iDrive, your Mazda if you want to, a Mercedes one, you can have just the connected drive if you want. Your choice, whichever you prefer. Not sure what that screen's for. I've not used it, I've left it as is. Car type. Now, for the BMW E89, it's set in 6. F1X 2011 to 2012 CIC 8.8/10.25 inch screen. That's your setting, that one, that's the one that works. You can change it for other ones. I do not recommend changing this screen. Another screen, I don't know what that one actually does. I'm leaving it as is. Screen to update factory settings. Not a good idea unless you know what you're doing. Vehicle information. Right, now this, when you've got your dashboard screen with your car on there and your door open display, this is where you need to change it. It's the top one here. You're either left hand drive or right hand drive. UK, Australia, Japan, right hand drive, which means the steering wheel is on the right side of the car, you drive on the left side of the road, and you want right on there so the door display is correct. You can adjust your speedo here as well. My speedo is 260 kilometers an hour maximum, so I've got it set to 260. And that's it for that one. You can have your volume bar on and mode memory. Don't know what mode memory is, on my left mine switched off. And then teach it how to do various other control functions for other stuff. And that is your main display. Okay, here's a quick, rather important one. Go into your settings screen, go to more settings, and scroll all the way down to system. Go into system, go to your date and time settings, and then your then your select time zone. Go into this and select the correct time zone to where you are in the world. Doesn't matter what it says up here, it's important on this one. If you're not set to the correct time zone, your sat nav will not display night mode when you're driving at night and will give you a bright normal daytime screen. So set your time zone, sorted, and that's that. Okay, go into the controller. If you've got an iDrive system currently, then telephone, media and radio will all work. They will send you back to the original sections of your original system. If you've not got iDrive, these will not do. They will simply take you back to the clock display screen. Okay, so menu is self-explanatory. It takes you back to your main display menu. Back button again takes you back a section, and options takes you straight to the system options screen. There we go, back on there, and obviously the iDrive, the rotary controller will scroll you through the various settings. And that is about it. Thank you very much.